question, whatever we have learned. So our first question is from the input and output section. So it is basically a simple one. Just a read name and a print a welcome message. So you can do it like this. So here, so here you can see there is this is a simple program where you have to read a name and print a welcome message to it. So let's run this. I will write my name here, and there you can see it says welcome Shashank. So basically, it's a welcome message, just a basic program to run. Now, second question is read to integer and print their sum. So how you're going to do it? You also need to use int before input because input return is string, and you have to convert it into the form of integer. So we're going to enter first number. Enter second number, and we have to just print the sum. So what you're going to do, sum is equals to a plus b, and just print. Sum is you need to use modulo d because data type is integer, and again modulo, and after is sum. So our first number, let's say 32, second number is 23, sum is 55 there. Now the third question is rate length and breadth and print the area of rectangle. So I have to just do length is equal, again you have to use int for this. Same you have to do for breadth. And now area will become, area is simple formula, it's length to breadth. Now you're going to print area of rectangle is area, because we saved this that in area, and again we have used modulo d because data type is integer. So now if you run this, let's say one area is 4, second is 3, so our area of rectangle is 12 unit. Now fourth question is read radius and print the area of circle. You can do it on your own. These three questions are okay. This one, read marks of 5 subjects and print the average. So let's do this. You need to use for loop for this basically. For I in range, because we have 5 subjects, so we are going to use 5, and marks is equals to input, enter your marks, and we also need to initialize one value. Sum is equals to 0. Now you need to update sum with the value of marks. And after this, what we need to print? Read marks of 5 subjects and print the average. So you have to print average is equals to sum upon 5 because we, we have actually 5 subjects, so this is sum upon 5. So now print this average marks. Again we're going, now we are not going to use modulo d because data type is not here only integer. We can do this integer, but we may lose decimal points, so we are going to use modulo f because modulo f is a float and float can store decimal places. So now average. Now if you run this, here you can also see I've written only one line of input, but it will ask me 5 times. If I run this, enter marks, let's say in one subject we get 90, one let's take 80, one let's take 85, 154, and 176. So here we got actually in the form of integer. Let's try another one. 90, 91, 93, 76. This again integer. Okay, 91, 92, 93, 95. So here you can see we got the decimal places. But you can also see there are too many decimal places. So we can remove this because we only need two decimal places. For two decimal places, you can just simply write modulo dot 2f. It will goes up to two decimal places only. So let's say our marks are 91, 92, 92, 93. So 94. So here you go. You got average marks, it is 92.40. Now in the same way, now next question is read two numbers and swap them. How you're going to do swap? So let's take two numbers first. Num1 and it will become now input. Enter a first number. Now num2 is equals to and enter your second number. Now after this print this num1 and num2. Now swap them. So for swap we can use like this num1 comma num2 equals to num2 comma num1. So basically both the numbers are exchanged at the same time. So now if you print again this line, just copy paste it. If you print again, so let's say our first 3, 2. Here you can see that our num1 is in starting is 3 and after that it is 2. Num2 is 2. But after swap, the number 1, num1 becomes 2 and num3 becomes 3. So in this way you can swap and it is very important concept which is used after these lectures. And we have already done this, read a float and print it up to two decimal places in average one and read age and print it with message. So let's take input age. enter your age. Now we're going to print. Let's make it more interactive. If age is greater than or equals to 18, you can just print your age is 18. Your age is whatever age is. So therefore we are using modulo D, and you can vote. Else print. Let's say if okay, now if someone has less than 18, so we can make it something like wait for some years. Wait for some years. Some is like any number. Yes. Now this how much it can be. So we can get directly 18 minus age. So after this, we will enter age. Let's say if age is 18. Oh, just forgot this. Let's say your age is 18. Your age is 18. You can vote. And let's say your age is not 18, less than 18. Let's say 12. Wait for 6 years. So this is all about input and output. Now let's go to print. In print, we can print things with a multiple ways. Just like if you want to print up to 1 to 10, separated by dash. So how you're going to do? You can do it like this. This manual method, and after this, you want to suppose if you want to print this, you simply print this. It will print with a space. But now, if you want to separate each of these one with a dash, so you can use it like this: separate argument in print command. So here you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they all are separate with a dash. And next one is print your first and last name using separate. That is by default. So let's say your first name input. So if you run this, by default they are separated by space. But if you want to separate with something else, it's like SCP. This side something else like any character you can pick. Let's say at the rate. So here you can see our name, first and last name is separated by at the rate. Now the print our third question is print number on the same line using AND. Okay. So basically we can simply run for loop for I and range for this one. If you print it like this, print I, it will printing multiple lines as we have already tried this. But if you use AND equals to space, it will print on the same line. And also if you don't give any space, They all are merged. There's not even a space in between them. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no space. Now after this print pattern using only print. Okay, you can also use print patterns like this. Star, again we print a star, again print a star, 3 star, now 4 star. So if you run this, you can see we can print this star pattern manually. You can add a space as you want, like it. Now print a table row using custom separators. You can use you can do this on your own, and even date. Take date in your different variables. Date in different variable, date, month, input from user and year, and print. Print them using separate command. You can in separate you have to write slash like this. You have to try this on your own. So our next questions are on the basis of conditional statements. So for checking a number is positive or not, you can simply do it like this. If num is greater than 0, then print positive. Also, you need to input num from the user in the int form. Enter your number. So you can get the positive for that. And for a even or odd, you can check even or odd in multiple ways. Like if we need this one, if num modulo 2 is equals to 0, basically if remainder of num by dividing 2 is 0, then then it is even, and else it will be odd. Just like I enter this number 4, I got even. If I 3, I got odd. Now there is one more way to check this. Bitwise AND operator using. For example, I simply write here num and 1. So what does num and 1 return? It will return odd. If it will return, let's say if it is 0, let's try to run this first. If I run 4, it is even. If I run 3, it is odd. So what happens basically? Here you can see. If you check binary of the 1, if you check binary of the 1, it is 1 only. Now if you check binary of any number, any even number, its last digit is always going to be 0. You can put any numbers like even 2, it is also 0. Now binary of 6 is also 0. Now binary of 8, it is also 0. So for even numbers, the last digit of binary number is 0, and for odd numbers, last digit of binary number is always 1. Binary of 3, last digit is still 1. Binary of 7, last digit is still 1. So you can use this one also. So when you use 1 and 3, it gives 1. When you use 2 and when you use 1 and 2, it gives 0, because this is 1 and its last digit of 2, is 0. So 1 and 0 is 0. So it returns 0 after that. So this is another method by which you can use to get even and odd. Now Third one is find the largest of two numbers. Let's say you have input two numbers. Make it num1, enter your first number, num2 is in the same way num2, now if num1 is greater than num2, print num1, else print num2. So if you run this, wait a second. If you run this, like first number is 4, second is 2. So 4 is larger, therefore it is printed. Now I can even invert this. First one is smaller, second one is greater. So now I get 8. If I put both number equal, then 2 I get. Because when I put both number equal, the first condition becomes false and else block is going to execute. And since they both are same, we can print any of them. Now next one we can go in the same way you have to do for the largest of three numbers. So for largest of three number, what you can do is simple. Just do this num3. Now, so it's just similar to the finding the largest two numbers. But what we have to do that you have to replace this and after this. So what will happen after this? Here, now we know that num1 is larger, and here we know that num2 is larger. Now we need to compare it with num3 because we don't know that is that num3 is larger than both of them or not. So if num2 is smaller, then we can simply ignore it because we only need for this that larger number. So if num1 is greater than num3, then print num1, else print num3.